Yeah, I think it should be okay with everyone, right? So today our guest will be Simranjit Singh, who is currently working with KPMG Ireland here, and the other we have as guest is Aritra, who is currently working with Kodak Ireland as a senior data scientist. Both are data scientists, and both have studied at DCU, and their major was data analytics. So before I start anything, there were questions from when I sent the email or messages regarding the sign up. There were questions from why are you asking for donation and what is the plan behind it. So I just have a 5 minutes presentation because I just want you to know you have the rights to know why I was asking for this donation and what is going to happen with that. And probably you will get a chance to work with us as well on the project that I am actually planning, and you will get to know what exactly is there. So I will start presenting them this, and I have more joinings. So that's the main problem. That's why I said I'll start a little later, but that's okay. If you can see my screen, just let me know, guys. Can you see my screen? I'm presenting. Can you see my
Yes, I
screen?
can see it.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. All right. So. mm, Okay, so what's my plan exactly is what I'm thinking exactly is with the help of this project is can we help the world? So how? What happened during COVID-19 pandemic? More than 1.6 million, and it's still going on, has died, and country's GDP is down. Not only India or Ireland, but almost US. Most of the countries, giant countries, has their GDP down, and millions lost their jobs as well. We all know because we know that people are dying, but we don't exactly know how many people have lost their job. There's no exact statistics because this is continuously growing. The number is growing day by day. So what is the effect of the loss of jobs on the human hunger? So according to the Washington Post, the pandemic pushes hundreds of millions of people towards starvation and poverty. So that's what the report, which was reported by the Washington Post. And what this ILO.org says, he says that it says that as job losses escalate, nearly half of global workforce at risk of losing their livelihoods. And there are more of statistics that's going on the internet. So Oxfam analyzed, which is an Irish-based organization, they says that 12,000 people per day could die from COVID-19 linked hunger by end of year, potentially more than the disease. If disease doesn't take life, definitely the hunger will take life of people if the current situations goes on. So the New Yorker reported that COVID-19 will lead to catastrophic hunger. And when I went through these, because I keep going through such posts, and I keep, I just have an eye on this kind of activity that's going on in the internet. So there are much more than this. I have shown you only the four of the news that I have found there. There are lots, and not only 12,000 people are dying, can die because of hunger. Even we can have 15,000, or you can say 100,000 people dying because of this hunger. So what's our vision in this? Job Today in Ireland, which is, we have the website named as jobtodayirirl.com, has vision of unhunger. So what do we want exactly? We have started to build a platform that will be used by all such people to get their food. And
Satya, just to sorry to interrupt you. I don't see your slides moving. I can still see your first slide only.
you just told me just a second.
It's not in presentation mode. It's like open slide. I can see the other slides on the left side, but
Okay.
yeah, now it goes on the further slides.
Okay, so I'll start it from. So sorry for that. Thanks, Niranjit.
Yeah.
So again, so what happened during COVID-19 pandemic? More than 1.6 million and counting people have died. Country's GDP is down, as I said earlier, and millions lost their jobs. So, according to the Washington Post, as I said earlier, the pandemic pushes hundreds of millions of people towards starvation and poverty. And according to ILO.org, they say that as job losses escalate, nearly half of global workforce at risk of losing livelihoods. So that's something that actually hurt me. And Oxfam analyzed that 12,000 people per day could die from COVID-19 linked hunger by end of year, potentially more than the disease once Oxfam. So just a second, guys, I have to allow a few of them. Um, okay. what else, and much more happening around the globe. So what is our vision? What do we want to do for these people? So our vision is to unhunger the world. Like we don't want people to die from this hunger because of losing their job. And we have started to build a platform that will be used by all such people to get their food, and we'll make sure that everyone gets benefited from it. And that's why I had started it. Now, how can you help us? The first thing that you can do, you can donate money and be one of the donators. That's the first thing. Next, you can be one of the developers to develop and maintain the website, and we'll give you a certificate of internship as well with this. So this is not just monetary help. You will also be helping to build our product and our website as well. And then you can help to get the donation from others, technically the advertisements that you can do for us. And once the platform is completely built, you can be one of the associates of the company. So that is the plan of us to build this in Ireland. And we'll start from here. And then probably with this, we'll be able to reach to those people who are actually in need of jobs as well as who are dying of the hunger. So we just make sure that no one dies of hunger. And that's what the plan of Job Today in Ireland. And we have started building the platform as well. And you will definitely see that there's a section in jobtodaynirl.com. There we say that do you want help because are you uh, like struggling because of COVID-19, then you will get help in that platform. So that's what our plan so far. And yeah, that's it. I don't want to take much time because this is all about workshop on data analytics. So I won't take much of the time. So that's why I just wanted to give a brief that why are we asking for the donation? So that's what the motive is. And without any further delay, if you want to connect and if you want to ask anything about it, you can just directly ping me or after this workshop. And you have the email ID as well, contact at the rate wdrama.com, wdramaclub.com. You can just go there and mail us whatever you had the query. So without any further delay, uh, we will now start by introduction of our guests, and probably there are more people joining, so I'm sorry for that, guys. Ritra, you are joining again, and yes, a couple of people are joining yet. So thanks for your patience, guys. Now we'll start from an introduction from both of our guests, and probably we'll move uh, forward to this session. So I have divided this session into two parts. In the first session, I'll have some questions for them. And in the latter part, it will be an open forum for any questions. So just to make sure not to unmute yourselves, guys, until it's been asked, because that really makes trouble. And if there's any sound in your background, that will definitely be hurting us as well, because that's very sharp. So we'll start with the introduction. And first of all, we'll start from Simranjit. So Simranjit, can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, sure, Satya. Thanks for the chance. And I actually like that's really good initiative that you have taken there, and I congratulate you and wish you good luck on that one. I hope it reaches as much people as possible, because yeah, we have seen and we have experienced it firsthand, like in the market, that this pandemic is like really critical and really hectic for the folks in IT and apart from IT in other domains as well. I wish you good luck on that one as well. And to start with
Thanks,
my
Simranjit.
introduction, yeah, good morning, good afternoon for the folks in Dublin, and good evening for the folks in India. Oh, my name is Simranjit Singh. I'm basically from Punjab, basically from Jalandhar city of Punjab, and I started my career back in 2014 with Cognizant. I was working with Cognizant as data warehouse developer. Back in 2014, there were no these terms were not so much popular, like data engineer and data science or data analyst, though we were doing a work of data engineer only, but we were still called as ETL developers or data warehouse developers. So I started with Cognizant, and I worked there as a ETL developer in Informatica, and I worked there for 1.5 years, and then I moved on to an opportunity which I got with AstraZeneca. You must have heard this name these days. They are, they are on the one of the top players in building the vaccine for this COVID-19. I was working with AstraZeneca. I worked there from 2015 to 2019 for 4 years. I worked there on multiple projects related to ETL development, related to data analysis, Then by the time I was moving out, I was working, my focus shifted more towards machine learning projects, and I was working on a couple of NLP related projects. And after that, I moved I wanted to do master's degree in this data analytics, and wanted to have a better exposure of the market outside of India. At that point, I moved to masters for masters in Dublin, and I did my masters in data analytics in DCU here. Last year is September 2019. I came here, and this year in August I finished my degree. And then after that, I was applying for jobs, which we'll discuss further. What's the procedure for that, and how did we struggle in that domain? Then I joined KPMG as a data scientist. Luckily, back in October month. And yeah, now we are almost close to Christmas. We are already in vacation mode. The stuff you see in my back, I forgot to put the filter, and now I cannot put the blur filter here. But the mess you see at my back, I'm planning to travel this year end. It's all that shopping for my family. And yeah, that's all about me now. Thanks, Satyam.
Thanks very much, Simranjit. That's interesting, and
Yeah.
that's a great introduction. Thanks for that. So next we will move to Aritra. So Aritra, could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, hello everyone. First of all, apologies. Actually, I've been joining in this meeting to and fro. I was actually trying to join from a different device. It did not show up my name perfectly. Then I joined through my laptop. But anyways, my name is Aritra. Actually, even so thanks to Simranjit and thanks to Satya. Actually, for this venture. This is a wonderful initiative that you guys have taken because. Probably a year back, I was also going through the same thing, and we did not have anything scheduled like this. Probably would have helped us as well. So thank you, Satya and Simranjit, for that. Uh, and about talking my experience, actually, it's pretty much similar to Simranjit. I'm not too sure whether Simranjit is aware of this or not. Simranjit and I joined Cognizant on the same date, actually. So we are both 2013 pass outs. Uh, I guess we joined on February 2014. He joined in Coimbatore and I joined in Cochin, and we were actually trained in the same, domain. So we were both data warehouse developers. We were both ETL developers. Like similarly, we were not sure whether it was. I mean, we were doing data engineering and a bit of data analysis as well, but those terms were actually unheard to us as well. So we just called ourselves as ETL developers. In 2018, actually, I moved out of Cognizant. I always had this knack of doing this data science. I mean, working in this data science domain, because probably from the end of 2016, from the start of 2017, data science has taken a huge impact on the overall IT industry. More and more people were trying to learn about big data, then moving to data science. So, like similarly, I also developed an interest on it. And then on 2018, actually, I finally got the chance to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers as a data scientist, and I joined PricewaterhouseCoopers in 2018. Now, the thing is, when I was doing my work as a ETL developer, it was very evident that I know what manipulations to be done with data, what data wranglings to be done. How can you edit data, and how do you load it to a particular warehouse where it can be used for further processing and all. But I never had the complete picture of what is done with the data or what is done with the pre-processing that I'm doing, and that is what interested me in taking up this and am I audible now? Yeah. And so actually I was so I had an idea about what is getting done with the data, what type of data pre-processings are being made and how it is stored. But I never had the end-to-end picture of what ultimately does this data do, how it serves the business, to gain better insights from that data. And that is the reason why I took up this course in data analytics and data science last year, and joined and came for my master's in Dublin City University, actually. So that is it. And after completing my master's, actually, I was applying for a lot of companies over here. I did get a 3 to 4 calls actually from various companies, and finally I got this opportunity to work with Kodak Ireland. So at Kodak Ireland, actually, it's a full stack IT solutions company, but I have been placed under a client, and that is National Transport Authority. So you take Dublin bus or you take this rails and everything. So they are my client, actually. I work for them. It's a very interesting task, and probably we will discuss about it later on in the session. Thanks.
Thanks, Aritra, as well. And that was quite interesting that you shared your past experience. What did you do in India? And now we'll move to the next part, which is like, why did you decide Ireland only? Like, why Ireland? And we'll start from Aritra. Why did you decide for Ireland?
All right. There are a lot of answers to this question. So the first and the easy one is, when you are moving out of home and when you have a industry experience of close to 6 years or 5.5 years, you look for some. I mean, you are already in your comfort zone, right? So it's better you go to a place where you know people, who have actually flourished over in this particular country. I could have gone to other countries as well. I was taking it into consideration. The sole reason for coming here is I already had a couple of friends who were working in this domain. All right, so I somehow knew the knew the overall atmosphere, how it is going to be like, what are the job chances over here, what are the best universities to choose from, how is their course structure, what are the things that I'm going to learn, and how my past experiences helping me to gain how my experience is going to help me get a job over here along with the new thing that I have learned. So that is one of the main reason that I have chosen Ireland as a whole. And apart from that brilliant history Ireland has, so definitely. And the most important thing is, you go anywhere to Europe, you get to travel the whole of Europe. Actually, that is what I have been told from my very childhood. Also I've seen in the movies, so that's a major motivation for coming over here.
That's sound. And what about you, Simranjit? Why did you choose Ireland? Why not Canada? Because most of the people from Punjab choose Canada. Why did you prefer Ireland to Canada?
I
So
was just
yeah,
about to ask this question to Simranjit as well.
so just to let you know, guys, that I already have a Canadian PR here. It's just that I'm not able to travel to Canada, but I don't even plan to travel to Canada anytime sooner, because the first thing, as Aritra already told, the job opportunities related to IT hub of IT jobs here in Europe. Since the Brexit, a lot of companies are moving out of UK, because earlier a lot of companies in Europe had headquarters in UK, in London and in different cities. But since Brexit, they are moving out of London. Not all, but many. We have been seeing it in the news. They are moving out of UK, and the nearest country they see to settle down with the ample of resources and a lot of supply about the engineers that they need is in Ireland already. So that's why they're planning to move it to Ireland. And there were already pre-existing companies. There are many startups here, in incubations here happening. And so that makes Ireland a very good market and IT domain. And also my friends were already here, so they gave me a good feedback about the country and about the job market here. So since pandemic, everything has been have been hit hard, not in just in Ireland, even in other parts of the world. So, but yeah, it's now recovering. It's now recovering at a very good speed. And the other thing here was the 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 feedback about the universities like DCU, UCD, TCD, and they have very good ranking globally, with their education structure, with their curriculum, and with the reputation that they have. And that's the second reason I wanted to do, because when you choose, even I have 5.5 years of experience. When you choose to do, you leave your experience world behind you, and you are again planning to come back into that study mode, it's difficult for you coming back out of your comfort zone, and then again started studying like normal college days. It's difficult for everyone, working for 5 years and then going back to study. So but when you plan to do that, you know that you're going to spend a significant amount of money on this. You always want to choose a good university, because during bachelor's times we were not guided well enough. We just chose whatever came in our way, right? So this time we wanted to go for, with our knowledge, with whatever we have experienced so far, we wanted to go for a university that has a good image out in the world. So Ireland gave you plenty of options for that. UCD, TCD, DCU, and this is just in Dublin. Outside of Dublin, you have Limerick, you have Galway, Letterkenny. A lot of institutions are there which have good reputation all around in the world. So that was another motive of choosing study good universities plus a good market when you come out of the university.
So, just one thing. Does it even matter? Like, are you studying at NCI, DPS, TCU, UCD? Does it even matter? Like, or did it come by any chance in picture? Like, or the all the universities are some college are same. Does it even matter or not?
So for my personal experience from my employer, they never even ask me about my degree or anything. They don't
Hmm.
do it. So it purely depends on your past experience, and then then the the attitude with which you carry yourself. You have the right kind of attitude, your education, your previous college, that doesn't matter much. I was talking about the universities in a global perspective. When you go out of Ireland, and if you're going into another market, let's say Germany or in US or in any other bigger players of IT companies, in that perspective your education will be like recognized when you are in a good, when you're coming from a reputed country. People know Ireland has good universities and good colleges. It'll be recognized. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. And did it matter for you, Aritra, by any chance? Like,
Pretty much similar actually. What I had an eye was like the course structure. So got to like Simranjit said, there are a lot of good opportunities. I mean, good universities, in Ireland actually itself. So I picked up a few universities. For example, I did see the course structure of Trinity, the course structure of UCD, the course structure of Galway, NUIG, National University of Ireland, Galway, and DCU and Cork as well. So what excited me most, where I was actually in a fix between two a particular actually course structures, and that were of NUIG and DCU, and then I went ahead with DCU actually. So why I would say is because I was looking into something which will be more industry oriented, which will be more applied. I mean, applied field of data analytics or applied field of data sciences, because it's very important. For example, I mean, I had a vision like when I came over here. It's very important for the person, to identify what they are seeking in the next 4 to 5 year. They need to create. I mean, like for me, I created a 4 5 year plan of what I want to do. So, had I had this idea of doing a PhD probably after my masters, then I would have probably joined UCD, because it's more statistics and maths based. So their actually entire data science and data analytics course structure is maintained by people from the maths and stats department. So that would give you a more idea. And if you are looking for a PhD after that, it's definitely going to help you. I actually have a friend with whom I'm staying. She's actually doing a PhD on that. So it's better for her. For me, it was more of applied, because I knew that after I complete it, I will be looking for a job over here. So it entirely depends upon the person, who they want. I mean, what they want from the course. And definitely everybody probably comes up with a past experience or no experience, because what happened is we completed our bachelor's in 2013, right? And the course structure for me in my state, that's in Kolkata, I mean in West Bengal, actually was completely different. And now it has got completely different, because now in in college curriculum itself, they teach you something about Python, they teach you about R. So these have entered into their college curriculum, like we did not have it before. So definitely it's not like that everybody is starting from a zero position or something. Your past experience, be it a job field, be it a bachelor's, it's definitely going to come in handy. So you need to identify how you are going to put it into use with the current thing that you are doing. So that has been my motivation actually for choosing this course, which I have already said. But to answer your question as a whole, I don't think, I mean, I agree with Simranjit. I don't think it's that important what where you are coming from. It's just your experience and what the things because similarly with Codec as well, it hardly bothered to them that from which university I passed. They had a few job description on their listed criteria. I made it fully fine. I gave my interview, I went through it, and I was landed up with the job. So after I got the job, then they went for the verification of, okay, fine, how much did you score in your masters, how much did you score in your bachelor's. But while giving the job, it was not that important.
all
They
right.
never
So,
even asked me till date. They haven't even asked me about my degree, whether I have cleared it or I'm stuck somewhere. And just to add another thing to this, Satya, the main question that you asked me, why not Canada or any other country? That the other reason for this was, see, I'm spending as I told, significant amount of money on this, and I don't want to spend 2 years of my life again studying. That'll be like, I'm already into market, I have already worked for 5 years, I don't want to study for another 2 years again. And then because in my age, I don't have that much of time, right? The good reason for that was in Ireland, you get master's degree just for 1 year.
Mhm.
In any other country, be it US, Canada, Australia, and I didn't even look at it because I knew the good universities will take more money than what I'm spending here. That too
Yes.
with a 2 years course. I didn't have that much time to invest in that, so that's why I chose Ireland. Just 1 years of curriculum. That too, it's like packed, full packed curriculum,
Mhm.
and I knew that I would be able to handle it. I'll be able to cope up with it. That's why I just went ahead with 1 year career
Ah,
curriculum.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
most of them would have taken the same, and they would have the same thought. Whoever are here in who are in
yeah.
Ireland and who are planning to do their masters in Ireland. So we'll move to our next question without any further delay. And I would like Simranjit you to brief about your journey from day one to now, like from day one to finding the job. Could you just brief this, like how was it? What did you, or what all did you do? And
So yeah, so you know that Satya, we came here last year in September 2019. Things were good back then, right? We could go out, we could go to college. We used to sit in the libraries and we used to study for our exams. Till first semester, everything was good, and we because the main thing is, since I come from experience background, I do have 5 years of experience. I'm not looking for graduate roles here. I knew that. I'm not even looking for a senior role, but not even a graduate role, at least a mid-level role, right? So I knew that the jobs that are opening up in December, January, or around that time, they are mostly for graduate roles. So I didn't want to apply for that. So that took like chunk of options out of my list, because I didn't want to go for graduate roles. I don't need to apply for that. I don't need to worry for it. So people who have less experience in my class as well, who wanted to go for graduate roles, this was the time when they actually started applying for the graduate roles. So they were focusing more on that. So after that, January came, first semester exams finished, February came, this pandemic started. Couple of our classes already moved online, but couple of them were still on campus classes, right? So after the lockdown in March, everything went online and we couldn't go to college, we couldn't go out and everything. And just to let you know, guys, I was doing part-time job with my studies. I was working in Domino's back then, and during Corona, a lot of shops were off. They shut down, but Domino's and the restaurant, they came in essential services. They were still open, right? So I had still had to go there, and the Irish government actually changed the visa things. Like earlier, we were supposed to work only 20 hours. That time we could do 40 hours. So my schedule got busy after that, because they were giving me more hours to do, because they were going busy during pandemic time. Deliveries were high, so I had to work there as well, and manage my studies alongside. So okay, anyhow, the second semester finished, online exams happened. That came then come the time for final semester, which was of projects semester, in which we have to finish our project, our major project that we were doing. And we in July month, I started applying for jobs in somewhere around April or May month, because that was the time when jobs started appearing up in LinkedIn. Though market was hit with pandemic, there were many companies who had frozen their hiring process, but there were still many companies who were posting jobs on the LinkedIn. And actually, not to discourage you guys, but at that time, many of the companies just was posting the jobs just to be on the just to keep the ranking high in the LinkedIn. They were not actually hiring. So that was at that point of time, it was sometimes discouraging for us and our other friends as well, because we were getting more rejections at that time and less interview calls. But we still kept on applying. You don't have to lose your aim on that. We kept on applying. I applied in this KPMG in May month. I was applying like 10 to 12 jobs every day. And then I applied it around a month of May or June. I got a call from them in July. I had completely forgotten that I have applied to this particular role in KPMG as well. Someone from the HR team, they reached out to me. They told me, like, we are ready to take it forward and take the first level of interview with you. So that was a time then I, had to dig my documents. Okay, what was the role about it? And I don't even remember. I checked in the LinkedIn, that role was taken off from the LinkedIn. I opened the career session. I could log in. I could see that I have applied a job, but I could not open that job, and I could not see that, what's the job roles and responsibilities for that job. Then alongside, I got call from another consulting company here. They Aspira, and they were interviewing me for data analysis role, and I gave interview in both of these companies. The first one in Aspira, you have to see this. Out of hundreds of jobs that we were applying, I got call only from two companies. I never got call from any, and till date I have started applying it. Till date I still keep on receiving these rejection emails. I don't even remember to what companies I have applied, and I still keep on receiving these rejection emails saying that we are not taking, we sorry, we are going further with other candidates. We never get to know who these other candidates are, but still. Then the interview with the other consulting company Aspire, it went well, but at the end it turns out they were looking for someone with more of an admin experience and analysis, not just analysis experience. So they rejected me. And then with this KPMG, this interview actually went for a few months. It started back in July, and I got the offer in September. So you guys have to be patient when you are here, when you are searching in this market. The hiring process in these countries doesn't work as it works in India. In India, it works very, fast. You get interviewed and hired, get your offer letter within weeks, or just in a month's time. Here, it depends on the company. Sometime it goes for months as well. You have to be patient, and you have to don't lose your aim on that. And after that, I was doing my this job hunting thing as well. And back in July, I left the job at Domino's because it was going too hectic with the job hunting, with my project in hand, and then with the 40 hours of job at Domino's, it was going hectic. So I had to focus more on this job hunting and my project, because that was my main aim. Okay, so I left my job back in July, and then I moved on full time to finishing up my project and then applying to the jobs. So yeah, I finished my project back in August. I submitted it, everything went well, and then by September mid, they confirmed me. KPMG confirmed me that all the rounds are finished, and then they are okay to hire me. It took some time for the final hiring process, for the final hiring stage.
Sorry,
Guys, can you
guys, can
go
you
mute?
please mute yourself? Shubham, I think it's you are on unmute. Can you please mute yourself? I'm trying to mute, but I can't mute you. Guys, please mute yourself, because I have anyway said this is not going to work if you don't mute
Yeah.
yourself. So thank you. Okay, Shannon, you can
Thanks.
go.
So
Sorry for that.
yeah, so this took some time since they confirmed me in mid of September, and the hiring happened by last week of October. This was just because of visa process. Due to pandemic, they had a lot of applications piled up, and it took some time to get my work visa here. And as soon as I had the work visa, they immediately gave me the hiring for the coming Monday after that. That's all about my journey, and now I'm here already near to the Christmas.
Okay, that's a very great struggle, because you started
Yeah,
as a student and then you had to apply for lots of jobs, and then suddenly just two companies and you got it. You nailed it. Like you
exactly.
didn't
Yeah.
get much. Just two
luck
companies. So
luck
it's like
yeah, luck also matters in this area as well. Your hard work is there,
definitely.
but
So
luck factor is also there.
let's ask from Arita. Did only luck work with him, or he also had to work very hard? So Arita, could you please tell about your journey from being
Yeah,
a student to
sure,
getting this
sure.
job?
So I came over here in last September actually. Okay, the first challenge that I had faced, I mean, like, I was coming to study actually after 5.5 years. I guess probably Simranjit also faced the same thing. It's very difficult to, make sure the study and make sure the study not just study a project purpose, but you have to complete the whole semester. You will have to read books, you will have to carry, take some course or take some time off to do work. It's like you will have to open your books and study, and then you will have to write an exam for that. So coming after a break of 5.5 or 6 years, that's a really difficult thing to do. Okay, that's the first challenge that I have faced, to be very honest. And first semester it was going fine because there was I mean, the subject load were actually pretty less, because in the second semester at DCU you get loaded with a lot of important core subjects that are related to data analytics. Like you get machine learning, you get concurrent programming, you get data analytics and data mining. Along with that, you get mathematical methods as well, which is time series. So all this loaded subjects actually coming to second semester, and at that time COVID struck. So for me, the scenario was a little bit different. Actually, I went back home. So I went to home in March, all right, because it was just in one day I packed everything and I left. Had a talk with my mom and dad back home, and just decided to go. Actually, they just told me you come home. So I went over there. It became a little bit easy for me, although the timing had to be managed because the class timings were actually late at night in India, and I had to pull some extra hours. Like every time I got to sleep at 4 or 5 in the morning back in India, but it was all worth it. But the advantage was, like, I understand Simranjit, probably Satya as well, you guys were also here, so it was probably difficult for you because you were away from home. It was a pandemic going on. There were a lot of other things that had to come to mind. For me, it was kind of a smoothing process because I was at home. So, no headache of preparing your own food, no headache of washing your own clothes. Everything goes into the washing machine, everything, mom cooks your food. So you get everything on time. It's just that you have to study. So that's the only thing you need to do. So that was a good thing. And the important thing is you were back at home. So that is another thing. So just to cut the long story short, actually, I came over here in September. So I completed my thesis, which Simranjit was talking about. I came here in September, and in the month of September, actually, I vigorously started applying for jobs. So like it's, I guess it's common to everyone, not just to me or Simranjit, but to all other people who are actually trying to get a job in Ireland. You open LinkedIn, you open Indeed, you open jobs.ie, you see whatever positions are available, and you apply. So you keep on applying, you see that whether it matches your profile or not, whether you are eligible for that or not. So on an average, even I also, I guess, I applied for some 15 to 20 jobs on a daily basis. So when things started happening good for me was like I just had during the month end of actually September, I started receiving a few calls. So those calls were initially from actually recruiters, but I wouldn't say them that those are happy calls, because those recruiters, they are not the hiring managers or anyone. They are just trying to find the perfect fit for the hiring manager. So they're going to call you, they're going to ask, have you worked on this, have you worked on that? They will probably ask for your CV. Now initially this type of a call came to me, I was very happy. I thought that, okay, fine, things are finally working, I might land up with a job pretty soon. But the first person who recruiter who called me, I'm not going to name the company or that person actually, but I never got that call from them anyway. And they are pretty much unprofessional as well, because when I tried to contact them about a feedback or something, I wouldn't get that as well. So that is what happens. A real call came again just a few days after that. It's from KPMG. There was an open position for a data engineer position. Actually, I had applied to it just 2 to 3 weeks back, and I got a call directly from the recruiting manager saying that okay, so this is the thing, you are actually going to have an interview with us. So that interview went. I gave that interview, and then they said that, okay, fine, we will let you know, because as Simranjit already told, that his interview process started in July and he got the offer in September. So, and in between, I met with him once as well. So I got an idea of KPMG. Okay, how are they going to go ahead with this thing? So I had, I was waiting patiently, because that's the only thing I could do at that point of time, nothing else. Now things started suddenly started taking a whole roundabout in the end of actually October for me. Probably it's luck, probably because of I made a few tweaks to my resume, because I was also getting rejection. So I was also thinking, how to score. How to at least get an interview, because there were a couple of positions which actually matched my profile, but still I wasn't getting any calls for them. So I tweaked my resume a little bit, and then in no time, actually, I got a call from JPMC. I got a call from Kodak Island, and I also got a call from Deloitte. So these are the four companies that I had called, and I already given the interview for KPMG. Now coming to Kodak, actually, it happened in a flash. Like on Thursday morning, the HR called me. He said that she said that there is going to be an interview, initial interview you will be having this evening. So I said, it's today evening. She said, yeah, it's today evening at 5. Are you okay? He said, yeah, fine. Then then on Thursday evening at 5, actually, I gave the first interview. Then and there, the person who interviewed me told me, he was the project manager. She told me that, I am good with you. Now you will have a second round technical interview with our data analytics and data sciences lead. So he's going to take up an interview next day morning at 8 o'clock. So it was Thursday, Friday morning at 8 o'clock. I had my second round interview. So I gave my second round interview then earlier in the morning. He was pretty much impressed. That interview went for another 45 minutes. And I was told there then itself, I don't have any problem with you. Now you are going to go to the NTA side. That is my client side. They will be taking 2 rounds of interview. So then Friday went, Saturday and Sunday went. On Monday, actually, I had my first round of client interview. It went for another 1 hour, and then on Tuesday I had my client second interview, and on Wednesday I was already I came up with my offer letter actually. And so it was, so you see the process was, it started on Thursday. It's not even a week, so it started on Thursday, on Friday, on Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday I got my offer letter. In between, on Monday actually, I had an interview with JPMC as well. So that also went pretty fine. I had an interview with Deloitte as well. That also went pretty fine. The funny thing is, like, on the same week, I got my offer letter on Wednesday. Now, I had earlier given an interview with KPMG on October beginning. So KPMG came to me on that day saying that you are selected for a second round interview. JPMC came into the same day and said that you are selected for a second round interview. And Deloitte also came to me on the same day saying that you are second interview for the second round interview. So I was feeling pretty good, because every time for 1 to 2 months actually I was only getting mails, sorry, after carefully considering your profile, we are regret to inform you that you are not selected for this position. So this time the ball was in my court. I could actually tell them the same thing, not in that manner actually. I just could tell them the same thing. Okay, no, I have a job now in my hand, so I don't think I will be going ahead with this. So this was the journey. So my key takeaways from this journey were, every time, because what was happening is, earlier, since I was vigorously applying for jobs and was getting rejections, so I used the same CV probably for 10 days. Then I finally understood that, I could actually tweak a few CVs, because what happens is, if I am saying database, I know the SQL query language that will be used to, query data from that database. Now, I might say I have worked with probably 3 or 4 databases, but if you think it through, it's not difficult, if somebody gives you a new database. So probably if some person tomorrow builds a database, and the SQL query is the same thing, that you are going to retrieve data from that particular database, it's not a difficult task. So it's not like something you don't know. So but while applying for that job, what you can do is, probably you have not listed that particular database inside your resume. I would suggest you put that database as well, because it's not going to make anything different for you. It's not like you are adding something which you won't be able to answer, because they will be more interested in whether you know this or not, whether you know the tweaks or not, whether you know the fun part of this or not. So that is what is more important. So that's how I actually changed my CV over time to time, and I converted it to CV. That's my story actually till now.
So that's quite different. So he got his offer letter in more than 3 months, I'll say May, June, July, August, September, 5 months,
Yeah.
and then you got in a week. Like,
Yeah.
both of you, you had patience, right? You didn't lose it. You both had the
Yeah.
patience that we don't have to lose, because I have seen a few people who actually leaves their hub in 2 or 3 months, and then they go back to India or their home country, and suddenly things start getting like there's no job. That's what they think. But there are jobs in the market, and even I also go through LinkedIn day by day. Every day I find there are 14 new jobs for data analytics. There are 10 new jobs for data analytics, 26 new jobs for test engineer, 50 jobs for software engineer. So there are lots of jobs, and if you are patient, then you will definitely get it. So that's what I have got from you too. And without any further delay, I would just like to ask two more questions from you. And the first question will be, how many number of jobs have you applied from? You can see on your LinkedIn. So can you just tell Simranjit how many number of jobs you would have applied?
I have a really vague memory, to be frank, so I don't remember how many jobs I see on LinkedIn. But if I open my laptop and I see the number of resume, but because for every job, I would curate my resume. I would manipulate it according to the job, and then I'll save it underscore the company name to which I'm applying. So if I open that folder, I have probably close to 170 to 180 resumes in that, in both data science and data analysis, and then data warehousing domain. It was based on because all of these domains are correlated, right? So if I have prior experience in ETL, I'm ready to work in ETL as well. If I have experience in machine learning, I'm ready to work as a data scientist as well. So all of these what do you say, terms are interrelated. All of these domains are interrelated. So I was applying for whatever comes my way. It was just a minor tweaking of the resume for that particular job, and then I would save it in my system, and then would apply it. So if I open that folder, I have close to 170 to 180 CVs put up in that particular folder. I would say, yeah, close to that many jobs I have applied.
Okay, and what about you, Aritra?
Like the number is definitely going cross 200 actually, because I remember there was once a time I was just applying for jobs because you have to get this process moving actually, because it's important. Like it was similar for me as well, like Simranjit, because I mean, luckily our profiles, our past profiles have been so similar, because I guess probably Simranjit is also going to agree. It actually helps, in the new field that we are going into, like whether it's in data analysis or data science, because 70% of the work that we used to do as a data engineer, as an ETL developer, a little bit you tweaks to that particular old job actually, and that 70% of the work is collecting the data, changing, making changes to the data and all. So I was also looking for all this type of profiles, and I probably have gone over, applied to some 200 plus jobs, I believe, because in the month of September and in the month of October, till I got these calls from these three huge companies actually, I was applying everywhere and anywhere. Now when I got some when I had scheduled up some 4 interviews yet to get an offer letter, I stopped applying then, because it did not make much sense, because whatever you had in hand, it's better, because ultimately you could apply, but you could only work at one place, so it does not even matter to how many positions or how many job applications you apply. But surely that's going to be more than 200 for
You
sure.
reduce the competition over there, right? Like you
Yeah,
have one less
actually
competitor.
everybody need to get a job, right? So that is the ultimate daily agenda. And what happens is another process which really works. Did not work for me, but I have a friend over here who stays with me only. He also got this. I mean, he is yet to join EY. He has got in Ernst and Young actually. He also got the position of senior data and AI scientist. So he just got his offer letter, in the first week of December actually. So for him, what happened is, he also went. I mean, he also made tweaks to the CVs and tweaks to the resumes and everything. He got up with people who were able to refer him to a particular company. He was able to bag a few interviews, and then finally he got one. So that is how the process actually works over here.
Okay, okay. So yeah, one thing that I would suggest from job perspective, that as Sanjit said, that you must have a folder where what do, you take you write the name of, or kind of Excel sheet where you write the name of the company and what CV actually you have applied for that company, so that you have a reference on the day when you are asked. Because the first thing that interviewers, like the HR, scans you through is they ask you about your resume. Just walk them through your interview, and as they both are suggesting that you must have tweaked your resume for the particular interview. Because suppose that, as he said, that there are different jobs, someone asks you for a machine learning engineer, someone asks for your data warehouse job, everything is related to data analyst, right? So you must have done at least a little bit of tweaking, and then you have to know that what kind of resume you have applied. That's what I asked about, how many number of jobs have you applied. And if you are going to apply more than 150 jobs, you will definitely not go with the same resume. You will definitely tweak your resume, and at that point just make an Excel sheet, make a folder where you will actually write all the company names and what resume have you used there. And that's what I find so helpful when you are actually applying for the company, because that's going to give you a reference that this is the resume that I have used for this company, and you don't have to get panic and you don't use other resume and then you start working through the some other resumes that you have. So
Yeah,
I think
just
that's
to add it, two more suggestions I would like to give. The first one is just in addition to what Satya said, like maintain an Excel sheet in which the job that you're applying, keep the job descriptions, the JDs, put up in that Excel sheet in front of every position that you're applying. Because sometimes what happens, that happened actually with me, that when a recruiter reached back to you, they said, like, we are ready to take up the first round of interview, and you applied the job a month back or weeks back, right? You don't remember what the JD was for that particular job was. In that case, you're not able to find what this job was about. It's better to open your Excel sheet and see, okay, I have applied for KPMG data scientist, this was a job description. Okay, now I have to prepare myself for this. Because it happened with me, I wasn't able to find a job description for that. I had to reach back to the recruiter asking him to share the job description. I genuinely told him that I have been applying to many jobs and I'm not able to find a job description for this, can you share it with me? It's fine, but keep it as last resort. Don't go back to recruiter in the initial stage itself and ask him the JD. First keep a record for that thing with yourself. right? And the is you know don't stop applying for jobs once you reach the first round of interview. Sometimes happened my friend after bagging a first round of interview with the company. They just say okay, anyways I'm gonna get into this. They get so excited and they stop applying for jobs. Don't do that. Keep applying for jobs unless you have one offer in hand. Get one offer in hand, then only stop applying for jobs. But until you have an offer in hand, don't stop applying for the jobs. Keep on applying for the jobs even though your interview is in process. That's what the second suggestion from my side is.
Yeah, thanks Imranjit for that, and thanks Aritra for that. And just last question, we have 4 minutes because for the last hour, we'll just keep it an open forum so that people can ask questions from here. And I have some questions from people ready, and they're asking me. So definitely, guys, you can directly ask from them whatever questions you have. And how is your life in your current company, Imranjit?
So it's
Is it
pretty
like,
good.
is it similar to somehow, like, I won't compare directly, like in India and Ireland, definitely. But how is your life? Just give up to be.
I would say people here focus more on productivity. Like in India, we were so leisure, like we had so much of time for breaks, and every 1 hour we go for a tea break or a coffee break, or for lunch break we'll take more than an hour. Things don't work like that here. When you are working, you have to purely focus on work, and but they won't disturb you after your office hours. Back in India, what used to happen, if I'm going to office at 10 o'clock and I'm supposed to be out by 6 or 7, I'll be staying at office till another couple of hours, till 11 o'clock or till 10 o'clock. That was a normal office schedule in India. Here it doesn't happen work that way. If they say from 9 to 6, it's from 9 to 6. They won't disturb you after 6 o'clock unless you choose yourself. If you volunteer yourself to work after that, it's up to you. If you want to finish your work early, you can extend your working hours, but no one is going to ask you to do work after 6 o'clock, and no one is going to ask you to come online on a vacation day unless it's really necessary. That way the job market and the companies, the culture here is very different than in India and than here. Yeah, that's what I feel the most difference is.
Okay, and what
and
about
and
you?
I haven't
Yeah,
gotten the
sorry,
chance to go to
sorry.
the office yet. Once the office opens, let's see what the culture is after that. But I have already worked outside of India when I was in AstraZeneca, so I'm pretty much aware about they have like really cool culture, and they don't stress you out too much.
Hmm. That's interesting about
Yeah.
KPMG, and now we'll move to Aritra for a Kodak experience.
Yeah, similar to me as well, actually. I mean, I just could share a little story, actually. So the first week that I joined Kodak, I was yet to work for NTA. My manager from Kodak, actually, she just asked me like, okay, so the person whom you are going to report is asking for your phone number. So, should I go ahead and give it to him so that he can give you a call and uh, discuss, because he will be joining from there on Monday. And so he would just like to have a few discussion. So as a very good guy, and I just entered into a field, and this is what happens in India, right? Because this is my first, at least Simranjit has some experience working in outside of India, but I never had that. So I, as a guy, went, yeah, sure, no worries, please go ahead and give him my number. I don't have any issues with that. So she became quite serious, and she said, okay, this was a trick question, actually. So never ever share your phone number to any clients or anyone. So please don't do that. I was just, then she started laughing. So I don't know how you work, but over here, if they're asking you that, they need to contact you over a person, over phone or something like that, you let me know. We will arrange another, mobile device for you so that you can go and you can, and they can call you over there, because the number that you have provided us is your personal number, and we don't want any people, disturbing you over there as well. So that is something which needs to be, which is really good, actually. So that's what my understanding is. And they don't call, apart from everything that Simranjit mentioned, they don't call you on weekends as well. That's another positive thing, actually. They never call you on weekends, which
Okay,
is a really good thing.
so yeah, so it seems like great experience in Ireland compared to India. So yes, guys, I'm pretty much done with myself. Like I don't have anything for them. I'll keep it an open forum now, and whoever has question, please raise your hand so that I'll introduce your question. I'll ask you to unmute, and then you can ask questions from both of them. and we'll start it now without any further delay. So those who have question can raise their hand here, and you can ask question from them. Yes, Sanjana, you can.
Yeah, hi. I just had one question. Like, I personally have 2.5 years of experience as a software engineer back in India. So, while applying jobs, I see there are like 5+ years experience required, 3+ years experience required. So, I just wanted to know that are they actually looking for 3+ years, or the skills are pretty enough to get a job?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
Simranjit,
go
share.
for that first. Yeah, I'll share my advice on that one is, see, if your experience is 2+ years, I and that too you're directly applying for jobs from India here. I would say, like, your experience, to be frank, I'm not discouraging you and all. It's just that you have to level up your experience further. Even in my class, there were many folks who had 2+ years of experience back from India, and they are planning to join, or they have already joined graduate roles rather than experienced roles here. Because 2+ years of experience, if some job is advertising, like, they need 3+ years of experience, they would already have some candidates which are already 5 years of experience. So in that case, you will be at the very, on a very low scale, or a very low on the priority list for that job, or particular job, because you already have some candidate who are 5 years of experience and applying for that job. Because what's happening right now at this moment, market is still recovering, but at the moment, if we're talking about the moment, the market is more, employer driven market rather than employee driven market. Before pandemic, the market was employee driven. You, even though the, jobs were more, they had many resources, so it was a level playing field. You can still get a lot of offers, you can choose which one you want to join with. Right now it's not that time. Right now it's employer driven market. Candidates are going for whatever they are getting, because they want to stay in the market, they don't want to get out of the market at the moment. So even if some employer is posting a job with 3 years of experience, they are receiving application from candidates who have 5 years, 6 years of experience. It happened with me as well. There was a particular job. It was on a contract role. It was like, 3+ years of experience for machine learning, and they were asking particularly in GAN experience, in which I have done my project. I had that experience. I applied for that job. I do have 5+ years of experience. That guy called me back, and he kind of, very rudely, he told me that, why you applying for that job? I already have candidates for, like, with 7 years of experience and 8 years of experience. Your experience is none in front of them, nothing in front of them. And I just, confronted him back, and I told him, why you are posting then 3+ years? You post for 3+ years. I am 5+ years. That's why I'm applying it. I don't know what applications you are receiving on your end. If you need, 7 years of experience, post it at 7 years of experience. Don't post it for 3+ years. So that's what is happening at the moment. They have a lot of resources for a single job, that too with a better experience than what they are asking for it. So what my suggestion is, for 2.5 years of experience, this experience is good for graduate roles rather than an experienced role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sanjana, is this okay? Do you have
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
else to ask?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So,
good.
what
Thank you.
I could get from here exactly is, like, I have friends who are having 2 years or 3 years experience as well, and since you are a software developer engineer, so you can also look for in software field. If you want to go in data analytics field, particularly as he is suggesting, you can definitely look for graduate roles. But if you want to go to any experience post, you can definitely look for any job that is related to your previous experience instead. So that's what I'm getting from Simranjit's words. And yeah, that's happened with lots of my friends as well, because they were having 2.5 years of experience, and then they said that, I won't take the name of the company, but they said that since they took the till last round, and then finally they said that, okay, I have a person who is having 5 years of experience for the graduate role as well. That's what happened here, because I have that experience as well, because he was from like, he's my friend and he's from my flat, so I know him. Still, uh, they actually look it, and sometimes they do, sometimes they do not, but lots of them have got job, and everyone has end of the day got their jobs because they had experience, and even if they are graduate, they are getting the jobs here. So without any further delay, let's go to, yeah, the name is M. I don't know your full name, it's only written as M, so yeah, you can.
Hey, sorry. Hey, didn't put my full name. Yeah, this is Madhusudhan this side. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for this amazing session. So I'll be joining CIT for data analytics in this next September, and I'll be having 3 years of experience in data engineering with Deloitte. So I would like to know that is there that anything specific tools or technologies which I should learn to give me an edge, because I have an year to prepare, and that could help me with my course as well. So I do not overburden myself with that thing, and I can prepare my CV accordingly. So what are the skills in data engineering or data analytics fields which are in demand so that I can prepare in advance?
I think
So,
Aitra has unmuted himself. Yeah, they both can
so
actually
yeah,
help with him because we both are data scientists. So one by one, you both can. Because I know particularly there is no particular experience that someone can have in machine learning and data analytics field.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
please, I would
Aritra, you
like
go
to
ahead,
you
please.
both to answer about it. Yeah, I would like
Yeah.
you both to
no, I
answer.
just wanted to ask him. Madhusudan. So, you told me that you are working. You have 3 years experience working in Deloitte, right? So, are you working in the management consulting division?
No, no, I will be having 3 years of experience by next September.
Okay,
So I am working for the consulting as a data
you are
like
working for the
Spark and
consulting.
Spark and
All
Hive
right.
experience and
So
Power
you
BI
have
as well.
got Spark and Hive experience and Power BI. That's actually pretty good experience to come in with next year. So you already have, I guess probably you are dealing with live streaming data. I mean, whatever your project is, if I'm not
Kafka
mistaken.
we are using Kafka, but I
Yes.
am not working on it. I am aware of it.
Okay. Okay, all right. So these things are actually going to come in handy. I would, personally suggest you, like I was actually saying, that you are probably, working on something, and if you could talk to your team members or talk to your leads or talk to the team, that is working closely with you to understand the entire process or the flow. Because trust me when I say this repeatedly, this is definitely going to help you at a later point of time. Because when you sit for interviews, or you are looking for something, it's very important. They will put you up through some type of questions, what your position was, what was the thing that you did, what was the pre-process, I mean, what was the pre implementation of the job that was getting done before it came to you. And after your job gets done, then what happens to the next or the respected processes actually. So this is one particular question which I came up against in all the interviews that I actually sat and get. So I would suggest you have a talk with the rest of the teams. I guess it is going to be fairly easy, considering it's Deloitte, that you will probably get an idea of what the entire process is happening. And to add to it, that I mean, if you are coming for next year into CIT for data analytics, uh, like when I was planning for this thing in 2018 and when I was in PwC, so there were a couple of statistics books actually, I mean, at a very basic level, which I started studying, and it helped me immensely in my first semester. Because what happens is, you will probably, when you study, you won't be getting most of the things, but at least you will be knowing them. And out of your own interest, you will be going into the Google and you will be searching for these things. And you will be getting a fair bit of idea of what they are. Because what happens is, I've seen a lot of people actually, with whom I've been staying, a few of my friends. So when they came over here, when they came to know about tools like R and Python, they fell from the sky. At least it won't be the same case for you, because you will at least be knowing, okay, fine, what this thing does. Probably you might have not a good idea about it, but you don't have to go. Because to be very honest, a 1 year masters is actually a pretty tough thing to do. Because
Yep.
it's a very tough thing to do. Because I mean, you will be loaded with assignment works. You will be loaded with new things that probably you have never heard of. You will have to study them, you will have to understand them. You will, at the same point of time, I mean, for you will have to work on your finally a presentation, I mean, finally a thesis as well. So all these things goes together. So it's a 1 year power pack course. When anyone comes to Dublin, it's like a 1 year just studies and everything. So I would suggest, I mean, these are the few suggestions actually that will be coming in from my end, that you get
Yeah.
to know your process, in a very good way. And the second thing is, if you get some time, start up with statistics and all, because you have a year almost, so you're coming next year, and that is definitely going to help you.
Yeah, R and Python I'm already working, but stats, which part of stats should I look into?
You could start from the very basics actually. You could start with distributions, you could start with hypothesis testing. I would rather suggest you start with distributions and Bayes theorem. So Bayesian analysis is something which is going to come in handy if you would like to work as a data analyst or a data scientist at a later point of time. So I would suggest
And
you start up with these two things.
Surely I'll pick that up.
per
And
day for
regarding project, like I am from scratch with this data engineering project, so I know in and out of this project. So that is definitely one help. Thanks.
Just
That's
to
a
add to what
great.
Ritra said, even for the other folks on the call as well. So the interview process here is not as similar as what we see in India. Like in India, what I have been through few interviews in when I was in India, what they try to do is that they grill you down. They want to take you down to the to the mud, and they want to get everything out of you. But here the interview process is not in that way. They don't technically grill you that much, but they want to see your understanding, how you understand your role in the big picture, right? That is what they're trying to understand you, whether you understand your responsibilities. If you're given a separate module to build from scratch for yourself, whether you will be able to integrate it with the other modules, whether you will be able to understand what your role is in that big picture of the project. So that's what you need to prepare for yourself. Don't prepare like the way they grill you in India. In India they just ask you technicalities of what you know, what you have worked so far, and you have to prepare like hell when you're interviewing in India. Here you don't prepare in that way. It's a bit easier interview. They do ask questions, it's not like that, but it's not as grilling as it's in India.
yeah. So
That's
basically,
really
you
good to
have to
hear.
understand your what he's trying to say. Basically, you have to understand your job role. So is it actually posted for? That's what you have to understand. You have to prepare based on that. You have to understand what is the role description and what exactly are they asking for, and instead of just going too much in the technicalities. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
I have few friends who had some more rounds as well. Like they have, because one of my friends today, tomorrow she has interview and she has 6 hours of tasting, like a coding test, and that's what she has. But that second depends. That varies for people to
yeah.
people,
Like he just
companies
said,
to
like
companies.
he was working on Spark and Hive. Like he must be working on one part of it. Here you need to understand how you are fitting in the data that you're processing, that the data you're transforming. You need to know how it's impacting the final business, how final business is using that data. So when I was in India, when I was working in India, we were confined to that particular environment and that particular module only. We didn't know how it's impacting the final business, and we didn't even care about that. Here, if you are going to a consulting role, if you're going to any of the consulting companies, you have to understand your role in that way.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other questions?
I think most of it is covered. And regarding
Okay.
if resumes, you can suggest something that would be like for especially for data science and data
Resume is,
engineering.
yeah, for everyone here. If you have if you are going for the mid level or entry level, or the job that which, let's say I was 5 years of experience, don't extend your resume more than 2 pages, right? So no one will be looking at that. Most of the time your application goes through an application tracking system here, and if your resume doesn't contain the particular keywords that they are looking for, it will be rejected at first. No, with the system itself, the computer itself will reject your CV. No human will look at it. So keep your resume as concise as possible. And if you have less experience, don't try to expand and put extra text in your resume. If you can, if you have less experience and if your CV is coming to one page, it's fine. It's not a problem. If you have more than 5 years of experience like mine or my like Aritra, then keep it for 2 pages. Don't go beyond 2 pages. It's what that it is. And it should be like in a very step by step basis. First mention your highlight about your profile, what you know and what you have worked so far. Then mention about what this is, what my resume was like. The second should be like the technicalities or the technologies that you know, so that whenever a recruiter is looking at your resume and the first page itself, he gets the idea what you have done so far, what your profile is about, and what tools and technologies that you know. Because a recruiter is a kind of person who doesn't understand technical terms and all. If you put all detail about your prior experience about each and every project on the first page itself, he's not going to understand it, and he's not going to give a damn about reading it. So give a summary about your profile, highlight what which is mentioned in the job description, pick some keywords from there, put it somehow, fit it in your own words, put it in the profile summary. Then mention the technologies that you have worked in related to the job description for sure. And then start with the probably at the end of the first page or from the next page, start with your prior experience, company that you have worked so far, what you have done in that. And if you have achieved something significant in your prior projects or in your prior company, put that after the technologies on the first page that you know. That will give a recruiter a clear idea how resourceful you were for your previous clients or the company, and how beneficial you're going to be for them, right? If you have some good achievements, mention them. If you have some numbers, like you have saved some $1 million, or if you have 70% of the time or something like that, if you have numbers, put that clear numbers on the achievements. Then go for your detailed level experience, what projects you have worked in, and what were the responsibilities you had in the particular project, and then go for your academics. That's fine. That's how my structure of my CV was.
Aditya, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
much.
separate.
I
Okay.
mean, that's pretty much covered actually.
Okay. So anything else you want to ask, or that's okay for you? We'll move to other candidate.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It sounds
Thanks
good.
for your question. That's a great question from your side. Now, next we'll move to Pranav.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, actually, I had an experience of about 4.5 to 5 years into IT. So, and my question was like to land more interview calls. As Aritra said, that we have to tweak the CV. So, can you just explain in detail what it means to tweak the CV or to get more interview calls for it?
Sure. I can share with you my process actually. See, I'll just go into a little bit technical, but it won't take much time actually. Initially when I joined Cognizant, actually I was trained into a particular ETL tool which was named as Informatica. All right, and there were a lot of associated databases with that. So what happened is like when I was applying for jobs, I mean the first call that I got from KPMG as a data engineer. So they wanted someone with a Informatica hands-on knowledge along with Oracle and some cloud technologies as well, which were AWS. All right. Now this was everything that I have worked on. All right. Now, the fun part is that if you are working on a single cloud database, be it, AWS RDS, which is AWS's database actually, or if you are, working with a data warehouse at cloud, that is AWS Redshift. Uh, Now, I got into I mean, when I was applying for this particular role in, JPMC actually, so they wanted someone with the similar type of experience, but in Azure. So what happened is like, there is another ETL tool mentioned just similar to Informatica for Azure as well, which was Azure Data Factory. And they wanted someone to have Azure SQL Data Warehouse, which is similar to Azure AWS Redshift. And they also someone to have experience in Azure SQL Database, which is similar to AWS RDS. So when I tell you that, tweaking the CV, all I'm trying to say is that all these processes are actually same. How AWS, how Azure, and how GCP differ from each other is their backend architecture. Okay, that is something we are not interested about, because that is something the engineers at the AWS or the engineers at the Azure or the engineers at the GCP is responsible for building. All right. But we as a user or we as a consultant actually have to use those technologies and have to use those tools and, return in results for the organization. So I what I did was like I had got into this Azure domain actually. I searched it in Google. I looked at a lot of videos actually and went through them and understood, and then finally realized it is not that different from what of the works that I have done, probably. Because even if you have not worked in cloud, I would say that if you have worked in a database, it's not like a rocket science to learn this Azure SQL database in 1 to 2 days time and get working on that. So when I say about tweaking the CV, so the CV that I've applied for JPMC, I made these few tweaks where I mentioned that I have worked on Azure this components, wherein in reality I had worked on AWS all those components. Fine, but it doesn't even matter, because when they were asking me questions, they were trying to understand whether I had a clear picture of what are the tasks that I used to do with that database, what are the things that I used to do in a RDS or a data warehouse, or what are the things that I used to do in a in the data factory as well. So that's what really important matters. So when I say about tweaking the resumes, actually I mean that go through your job descriptions, because most of the things that you have done, probably they're similar. I mean, to do a simple thing, there are a lot of different tools and technologies that are available in the market. So probably different companies you're applying to might be using different technologies, but at the base level it's all the same. So that is my point, that you should go ahead and make this few tweaks when you are applying for a different job at a different organization. That's what I meant by tweaking the CV. I believe, it answered your question, Pranav.
Yeah, sure. And also, I would like to add that, like, along with tweaking the CV, what else can I do to land more interview calls from the recruiters? Like,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, that is another thing I would suggest is, I mean, if you are, I mean, if it is a particular company you are applying to, and that company is already there. I mean, if you know people from that company, you can search for people in that same company. For example, if you're applying to KPMG, all right. You can probably add Simranjit and reach out to him and tell him that actually I wanted to there is an open position for this, so will it be possible for you to refer me from your internal portal for this particular job? What happens is it sometimes increases your chances, and on the other fun part of it is, like, Simranjit probably gets a very good referral bonus on his side as well. But what the advantage for here is, like, actually, when it's someone inside the organization who is referring for you a particular position, it do actually increase your chances. Because like the friend I was talking to you about, who just got into EY, he got 3 calls. Actually, he got all those 3 calls from referral itself. So he bagged a call from referral from IBM, he bagged a call from referral from EY, he also bagged a call from referral from Deloitte. So that's how it worked for him. So that's why I say, before applying for a job, because these are the few things that I didn't even know. So everywhere I applied, probably I guess Simranjit also didn't even know. So you learn these things while you were in the process, you were seeing, looking at other people. So these are some things actually that I have came to know upon, that referral does work in a country like Ireland. It works in India as well, but not that way. But it does definitely works to a great deal in Ireland. That's what I have to say.
Just to
And
add
other
there,
thing just want to add,
yeah.
sorry Satya for interrupting. Uh, if if a job particularly has the keyword just at one place in the entire job description, which matches your which matches your job role or what you are looking to go into, doesn't necessarily mean that job is for you. What happened previously with me was in KPMG, there was an opening for some role in which they had mentioned in a small words that data analysis and all. A particular guy reached out to me and he said, I want to apply for that role. I said, okay, send me your CV. The first mistake he did was he never curated or manipulated his CV for that particular job. And second thing, in that particular job was purely for some other domain. They needed the data analysis, the knowledge for little bit like 10 to 15% of data analysis knowledge. If you have, like, it will be a plus advantage. That guy thought that it's entirely for data analysis role, and he started applying for it. So just to give you an advice, anything that matches with what you want to work in doesn't necessarily mean that that is your job. First, entirely look into, understand what the job roles and responsibilities are, whether it fit the criteria you want to go into, and then start applying for that. If that doesn't fit your criteria, let it go. You will get hundreds of other jobs instead of that one.
Yeah, so just to add that, don't waste your energy for the job that's not more for you. So that's what I used to, because you definitely get frustrated when you see a mail in the morning that unfortunately you are unable to, we are moving forward with some other candidates. And then you think, oh, I have applied for a data analysis job, although it was not for you. They were, as he said, only 10 to 15% jobs was like description was matching with his profile. And then suddenly you will get
Yeah,
frustrated. So that's what he is trying to say.
exactly. Just to save some energy of
Yeah.
yours, don't do that.
Because they have already applied for more than 200 jobs, so understand the energy they have invested into that. Like 200 jobs is not a small, like you have companies here, you have jobs here, you have to go through each and every job description, you have to tweak your resume, you have to understand what exactly what process is there, you have to attend the calls, because you won't get 200 out of that. If you are applying for 200, if you're lucky enough, you will get 5 to 10. If you are
Yeah.
luckiest one, you will get 2 or 3, and you have to take chances. You have to make sure that you get in 2 or 3 of them. So that's
Yeah.
what he had trying to say,
And
Pranav.
yeah, and to answer, someone asked in the chat, Shubha Mittal, can you please indicate a list of few companies that regularly look for data analytics candidates in Ireland, and what's the best way to target those roles? LinkedIn, job sites, or consultants? So, Shubha, just to answer your question, there are no particular companies I can list you here for data analytics who are looking for data analytics folks. The thing is, many of the companies these days, I would say almost every company in Ireland or around the world, they're trying to enter this domain of data analytics or artificial intelligence or machine learning or advanced analytics. They have different name, but it all boils down to a single thing. So there are almost every company who is trying to enter into this domain. So I cannot list this. This will be like, infinite if we keep on adding that thing. So keep on looking. Don't just restrain yourself for a particular companies unless you are like so ambitious and you want to just go for that particular company, right? Uh, Keep on looking for the jobs. I personally had experience only in LinkedIn. I never applied from any of the job sites. I think Oritra was saying he applied it through some other job portals, but I applied only through LinkedIn. And there are numerous jobs related to data. Will keep your create an alert in the LinkedIn, and every night it'll deliver you an email saying there are 10 jobs in the field that you have you're trying to reach into. And these are the new jobs, these are already existing jobs. LinkedIn is very active or proactive in that way. It'll send you the alert of all the new jobs. Keep on looking into into LinkedIn for all the new jobs that coming into it. And unless you're very ambitious for a particular company, don't restrict yourself for that particular company. I'll share you a story. Previously during my job hunting, there was a particular consultant who reached out to me. He was a kind of recruiter for a particular consulting firm. He tried reaching out to me, and he told me that he was an Indian guy. He was talking frankly one to one with me, though he was right on his part. He told me that what we Indians do, we like we see 100 jobs, we apply for all 100 jobs, right? Don't do that. Create a strategy of what you want to do. Create a list of companies that you want to reach out. Select those selective jobs, only selective companies and the jobs in those companies. Reach out to the recruiter of that company, or any senior member of that company. Show your interest particularly in that company, and research little about that company. Tell them your understanding, and then give your background, and then tell them you want to apply for that job. Don't keep blindly applying for the hundreds of jobs that you see. But that doesn't satisfy us. We don't want to restrict ourselves for those 5 companies and say, okay, we are losing out to the other 50 companies that are already posting jobs. We are like, and we are trained in that way. If we see 100 companies, we want to apply for that 100 companies. So that's what I'm saying you, like, don't restrict yourself for that particular companies, if you unless you're ambitious. Like, there are some folks who are like really ambitious of going into Tesla, for that all the self-driving cars that coming up, or and ambitious for going into Google, Facebook. We knew our level. We are not that kind of folks who have that kind of knowledge, who can directly, we are definitely on a path for that thing, but right now we are not on that level. So we were just open to whatever comes our way. We were just applying for it. And you should also, if like, again, unless you are so ambitious, you should keep your mind open about it. Whatever comes your way, apply it, tweak your CV for that. Your aim should be to grab an interview for now. That's what your aim should be, right?
Get it, just make sure you get the job as well. And does it answer your question, Pranav? And you have anything else to ask?
No, yeah. Thanks, Simranjit and Aritra. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Pranav, for the question. Next, we'll move to Pujita. You can unmute yourself, Pujita.
Yeah, hi. So earlier, I think Simranjit had mentioned that, when he was applying for a job which asked for 3+ years of experience, and he had 5+ years, but then the recruiter reached out asking, we're looking for 7+ years. So, and then I think Sanjana previously had mentioned that she had 2+ years experience. What does she do? So you said apply for graduate roles. And I graduated just 2 months back. And even if I apply for a graduate role and she also applies for a graduate role, won't they consider her above me? So how do students with zero experience come up to that level? Or how does it work for us? Won't they have a higher
Actually,
priority than us, just like
yeah,
how people with 7 years had?
Yeah,
I'll,
so first I'll also take this question, Aditya,
yeah,
because I have a couple of friends who are fresher and they are struggling, and few friends from previous year who have actually got the job as well, and people have got their job who are fresher as well. What you need to do, the first thing that they do is you have to give a video interview, and that's very important. How professional you are, because the companies like Vodafone or Deloitte or other such big companies, they actually like you. How do you represent yourself? How do you present yourself? So you have to understand that are you professional or not. So first thing that is there is video interview. You have to make sure that you clear the video interview. And also you have something similar to we used to have in India, which is like English test or your reasoning test and other tests in usually in graduate roles. If you pass those, the first thing that you have to do is you have to be quite skilled. If you get the interview, if you are after these two rounds, if you are in the third round, your chances are more, because they won't grill you that much, because you are not on like you are not an experienced candidate. Instead you are just a graduate candidate. So you have chances definitely, because I have seen people who are here, they actually, first of all, they take internships. And even if you get internship from other unpaid or other kind of things, you can definitely do that, because people also try to do them. And this is how they actually build their things, because you have an experience. Like since you are graduated 2 months back, you don't have any experience. Now you have got 1 month of, sorry, not one month. I'm telling about 1 year, or while you are studying, you have got that experience. You are intern now, so you have 1 year of experience instead of 0 year experience, right? So that's how things work smoothly. So try to find an internship instead of directly finding some graduate role. And there are internships here for 6 months, 5 months, and other things. So you can definitely grab those, because internship they will definitely not look for anyone having 7 years of experience or 3 years of experience, because internship is just to learn something new. And that's how you can start. So when you have you are here, just try to find some internship when you are in your first semester itself, second semester itself. If you find them, join them. And most of the time what happens, they don't want to invest the same amount of energy on other candidates, so then these internships are converted to full time, and people have got them. So that's what I would suggest. If you are a fresher, you haven't gone through any experience so far, just try to find any internship, and then you will definitely get something from there. And if anyone wants to add anything, guys.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
Satya. To that, Aritra, go ahead, man.
yeah. Please go ahead. Then I
Okay.
just needed to actually let them know about one thing. I'll just tell them at the end. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
no worries. So, what I would add to that is like the way you were saying, she has 2 years of experience. Won't they consider her before you? So the thing is, once you go to that hiring process, after a certain stage, after clearing, another thing is like you have to have a very good communication. Always focus on your communication. The second thing, when you are at that particular stage, right? As Satya said, your attitude matters a lot for the graduate roles, right? So let's say you are a fresh out of college. You are learning. Your mind status right now is kind of in a learning mode. You are always able to pick up things. You are always able to grasp things better because you just came out of college. You're still in that study mode. You can do things better than that 2 years experience person, whoever is in competition with you. What 2 years experience person would bring to the role is he already had some knowledge, but sometimes their attitude is not good towards the client or towards the job or the problem they are approaching. What 2 years guy cannot do, what you can do is you can learn stuff from it. You cannot be adamant about your view on that job. You are always in a mode where if someone asks you to do this in that way, you are always able to turn yourself, right? Because you are a fresher, your mind is right now open. But for experienced role kind of guy, if the attitude is not good of that guy, of that particular candidate towards the problem, they could create issues in a team environment, because they have done a job, they have an attitude in their personality that they are not ready to listen to the other person's view. That thing also matters. That this is one of the things, as Satya already said, you have to have a right attitude if you are in a competition with any other experienced guy. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mitra.
Aritra, can
yeah, and for anyone with 0 years of experience, or like looking for an internship, I could just recommend every one of you to a specific website which is similar to LinkedIn. It's called Angel List. All right. So if you go on to Google and search Angel List Ireland, what happens is, like, people with startups and all, they post their requirements in Angel List. And they don't expect, definitely there are actually roles for which they're looking for people with lots of experience. But I have also seen there, people, they're also looking for people with internships, because what happens in a startup, is like that, people, when they are just in the first job, they don't expect much of you. Because since you are already learning, the field of data science, the expectations will be pretty much small. They might just give you a simple project to work on, and that will be the entire hiring process. So I would definitely suggest every one of you, to go through Angel List and look for jobs over there, because there are internship jobs. And likewise, Satya has said also, you can definitely go to LinkedIn and other places as well and look for internships over there as well, because that is the whole point of internship. Actually, they don't they don't experience or rather they don't want experienced people like 5 to 6 years of experience looking for an internship position. They rather look for people who are relatively new to the field and who are actually eager to learn and also contribute to the organization in a little bit. And the internship facility over here with Ireland, the people that I have seen who have done internship is like there are high chances of converting in your internship into a proper full-time job if you are really good at it. That is what really happens in Ireland over here. So these are the things that I would tell all you guys to focus upon. And another thing is, like, if you are applying for a graduate role, like Pujita mentioned that since Sanjana has some 2 years plus of experience, and should they not consider them on that. So be rest assured that for any particular open position, for any company who are actually looking for graduate roles, they do have, I'm not saying it's like a bulk recruitment as it happens in India. Like probably in my college when I graduated, I got in Cognizant that they recruited some 250 odd people. It's not going to be like that. But what happens is, like, at least they will be looking for some 15 to 20 people, which is bulk over here. So you never know what your chances are, and keep on applying, because this graduate roles, actually they start from the very bottom, actually. So you will be asked to do a lot of jobs, and it's really a learning process for everyone. So when you are applying for a graduate role, like I said, tweak your CV to the exact thing. If you are looking for a data analytics graduate role or a data science graduate role, what they are expecting, tweak your CV as per that, and apply, and rest, I believe, you probably might end up with a call, and then you can just go ahead with the interview process.
What I have seen exactly is that trend is like, if you are applying for the graduate role, you will definitely get it. Doesn't matter what exactly is there. Like I have seen like 90% time I have applied also when I was there, and I don't have much of experience, only more than 2 experience. But my friends, they are getting calls. My roommate is also like a 2019 pass out, and then he came here directly after his college, after his graduation. So he's getting calls, and he has got more than like some 15 to 20 calls. So it's like you are getting calls. It's not that you are not getting calls for internship or full-time job. He's getting the calls. So you can be optimistic
Yeah.
that you will get
And
called.
Aritra, just to, if you can answer, Vedant asked in the chat, if you can spell that site that you were asking.
Yeah,
And
I'll
sure.
just
And
reply
just
to
to
everyone.
add what I was telling earlier about the attitude, right? There's a personal example or experience that I have seen with the first eye, that, two of my friends from my batch in DCU, they both come from the same company back in India. They both have same level of experience. The guy with wrong attitude, I would say, he was having a diversity of experience than the other guy. But let's say one guy got the graduate role in General Motors, and the other guy, when he was interviewed for the same role, he didn't get it. Why? Because he didn't show the attitude of unlearning what he has already learned in the interview. What, definitely I was not in the interview panel, but from what he told us, he answered in the interview, and what the other guy told us, the first guy who got the role, he actually showed, like, pretty decent way of being open to anything what comes his way. And the second guy who didn't get the role, he showed an attitude where he wasn't able to, or he wasn't ready to unlearn what he has already learned. He was adamant about his, though he had diversity of experience, but this is what they didn't need for the graduate role. For the graduate role, that they needed the attitude, or like with a open mindset, like he's able to learn whatever comes his way, he's able to follow his team, and he's not, though you are open to give ideas, but don't be, very stubborn about what you're saying. Okay, this should be done in this way only and only. So that's why he didn't get the role, and the other guy who was open about it, though they had the same kind of experience, he got the role. So this is what the why the attitude matters a lot in the graduate roles as well. And Satya in the chat, he asks, in graduate roles, do they have rounds for reasoning and aptitude? I'm guys, I'm not able to answer this
Yes,
question.
I'll be
Satya, you can
answering
answer.
this. Yeah. So I'll answer this question. Yes, they have. So they had asked me. They were like, I had got a call from Vodafone. In 15 minutes, I had to answer 60 questions. In 15 minutes, 1 5. So the questions were very easy. It's from statistics, it's from data, and it's from English, and it's from common aptitude as well. Questions are very easy. There will be a single question and 10 to 12 questions from that particular question, like sub questions. You have to read the data set, what is there in the main question, then you have to answer questions, and the time was very less. So it's very interesting. Like I was able to pass almost 3 to 4 of them, and then now like I went through other rounds as well. But as I said, the most important thing matters is how do you represent yourself in the video interview. I couldn't get any call after that, and like I couldn't represent myself in the video interview, so I didn't get any call. So the most important thing that matters for you is just aptitude. Even if you get 60 to 70% in aptitude, you will definitely get the next round. Represent yourself in that round. When you are asked, be formal. Don't look like wearing t-shirts and then go to those rounds, and this because it really matters for big names like Deloitte or KPMG. It really matters. Their reputation matters for them. How do you represent yourself? So that's
Actually,
how.
you were saying like they will ask us questions like when earlier you were saying like in the second round there will be reasoning and aptitude, right? Is
Yeah.
it only for like I mean like aptitude is like in our engineering or like in India
It's
itself?
simple mathematics, like the way you have learned till high school. Like what is the what percentage, and then principal interest or principal what is this PI or something, right? So it's just like the whatever you have learned till 6th or 7th standard. So that's what you will be asked, and then you'll be given a data set, and then you have to answer like what is the percent, which year it was more, which year it was less, and what percentage it is more in the 2019, what percentage it is less in 2017. So that kinds of question I had got.
Will you
My
ask
experience.
any technical questions like sorry,
No.
not
They won't
technical? I
expect
mean,
you know much in technicals in your aptitude round. They'll just expect you to know aptitude and little bit about data. How do you manipulate data? What do you understand from data? And what do you know from the basic English? How
Yeah,
is your grammar?
Joseph. That's what the aptitude round is about, right?
Yes.
That's not a technical round. That's just
no,
an aptitude round.
no, not like that. I mean like in India, like in the when we're trying for the graduate roles, like when the companies are coming to a college or something, they will ask even in the aptitude also, like sometimes they will ask only about reasoning and all, and sometimes they ask even like whatever technical some multiple choice.
Yeah. It won't be like this here, Joseph. If they say it's aptitude or reasoning, it will be
Yes,
just
aptitude.
aptitude or reasoning. They
Yes,
won't be asking
definitely.
technical in that.
No technical
Okay,
questions.
okay, thank you, Satya.
No worries. So before answering the questions on the chat, it's better if we go for the next
Yeah,
participant,
definitely,
who is
because
Vedant.
we have lots of participants and we are running
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
time, guys, as well. So we'll keep it short. And one thing for you, who had asked Pujita, I think, right? So she had asked about this graduate role. We'll have other sessions on graduate roles as well. I'll bring those graduates who had got their jobs and who was not experienced. So definitely we'll answer those as well. Keep an eye on our website, jobtodaynil.com, and then you will definitely get these things updates over there. So
Thank you.
no problem. Next, we have Vedant, and Vedant, you can unmute yourself.
Hi guys, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, I have the same question about what Pujita asked. Like, even I'm a fresh graduate, so I'm clueless about how the jobs are working over here. So I got a brief picture about it, how it works and everything. To add on to that, I just want one question to be answered. Like, if I don't know if you people can answer. Like, we as a graduates, like we are not into a particular stream or something. Like, yeah, can we apply for software as well and data analysis? Like, I'm doing graduation now, masters in data analytics. So should I apply only for data analytics roles, or can I apply for software roles as well?
So what I would say is, if you are doing masters in data analytics and then you're applying a role in testing, that doesn't give a good picture to the employer. If you were if that tells him that you were not already focused on what you wanted to do. You came into Ireland, you did a graduation in data analytics, and now suddenly you want to move to the testing field, right? It's always better to be in the domain that you have done the graduation in. It gives a good impression to the employer as well, that you have done masters in data analytics. If you have couple of projects already, what you were doing during your masters in your GitHub or anywhere in the public projects, so it gives them a better picture about yourself, that you are very focused in your career, and then you want to move further with what you have studied.
So what I would say, Vedant, I'll take these questions in your. I would welcome you for the other graduate workshop as well. So you will definitely get answers more over there because they'll be the. I'm assuming they'll be the person who will be able to answer you these such kind of questions more. And yeah, as Aritra said, you can tweak your resume definitely. So if your course is about masters in computing with data analytics as major, computing covers everything, right? It doesn't mean that you are only studying data analytics or you're only studying software engineering or only testing. You are studying computing, and everything that's in computing will be you can represent it in your resume as well. So it means that you have studied software engineering as well, you have studied testing as well there, because and you can just represent yourself, and you can tweak it as Aritra said earlier. So just make sure that you read the what exactly are they asking in the graduate role, and then you go further and apply for the position. That's what I would take from Simranjit's word. He's trying to say.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Please let I'll where you will post all this graduate, like if you have any annual sessions over this.
Yes, just go to our Facebook page, that is Job Today in Ireland. I have definitely shared that,
Oh yeah.
and then you will get to know everything. We just keep posting these things on our Facebook page as well.
Hopefully I'll get it soon. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Vedan. And next we'll move to Subir. Subir, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. So my question is that I am carrying an experience of 3.2 years in production support in a tool Guideware. So I want to move my career from production support to data analytics. So make myself, how can I start my career in that field in data analytics?
Uh,
Aritra,
uh,
you want to go for that? Oh, yeah, Satya, go ahead.
no, I was unable to understand the question. So sorry from it. That's what I was.
Yeah,
I
I get that question actually. It's a very valid question, and I have seen a lot of people with that question actually. So I understand because in the initial part of my career for the first 6 months I was into a production support job as well, and I had to fight my way through out of it. Like I had to really literally fight with my managers and everyone to just tell me that I want to get out of this project and want to do something new. So I understand completely where you're coming from. Uh, for you, just to be, I mean, definitely, the important thing that Simranjit raised in the previous question while he was answering to Vedant, it's very important, it does not necessarily, I mean, does not make any point, if you want to go back to your old technology and studying data analytics into this, I mean, for 1 year and then going back to your own, getting back to your, whatever you are doing actually. So that is one thing. So that is something when you need to be very sure about what you want to do, because probably if you are doing production support in something like Guideware, you might be getting some similar approaches, or you might be getting some similar opportunities over here in Dublin in some of the other company. That's what I believe. But if you really want to move out of it, what you have to do is, like, you probably cannot show that experience anymore. That's what I have understood, from the rest of the people who are slowly getting jobs. Because again, that's why I keep on saying, tweaking your CV is so important. Because probably even if you haven't done this, I don't know whether I should put it this way or not, but I don't think there is too much of harm, in saying this, because ultimately when I was looking for a job, even I had the little interest to go to something like ETL development. I was looking for something into data analytics and data science. So if you would say it as I lied in my CV or not, whether I don't know about that, but yeah, I made those tweaks which which made the recruiter look like, okay, fine, this is one guy who had done some job in data analytics and data science field as well. So similarly for you as well, if you have a 3.5 years of experience, it's a pretty good experience that you have got. Probably you might go for some experienced roles. But then again, if you are specifically looking to do something in data analytics and in data science, you will have to tweak your CV. You will have to take your chances, and you will have to mention in your CV that you did some rigorous data science jobs, or in your data analytics job, and you already have a process in which you are working for production support. You already know a process, you are part of a process. Because the only advantage that I find with production support is that you will have to support an entire application. So that the important thing is, what is happening, what is the start and what is the end, because you are providing support to the entire application. So put in your knowledge inside that, put in how you can put in some data analytics analytics or data sciences that you have learned over the 1 year into that project, and represent that in your CV. And then when you are interviewed, you should be very confident that you are able to defend your CV, because you have tweaked your CV and you probably have mentioned a few things which you have studied, which you have at an industry level. So I would suggest you go ahead, you make these changes, you apply for a few jobs, because in this case what's important is you back some interviews. Because once you start giving one interview or two interview, you basically get an idea of what the questions might come in and what are the type of questions they're going to ask you, and that is definitely going to help you in the future. So
Yeah.
Simranjit, I guess if you
Yeah,
could add something.
just to add to that, I'm not discouraging you. I'm like kind of uplifting you. Like you have a long road ahead of you. Start studying about it. I have seen many people converting their production support experience into a complete data science or data analytics experience. But you have to struggle a bit about, not a bit, a fair share of your struggle need to be there. Start studying about the core technologies, and follow Kaggle or any of the websites where you get to do a lot of projects, right? You have to build few projects on your own, post it on your GitHub, make it public, show them that you actually know about data analytics and data science field. And then, as Aritra said, tweak your experience of whatever you have done in production support, tweak in a way that shows them that yeah, you were not doing actually production support work. Within the same project you were doing more of a modeling or data modeling and that kind of work. But that's an advantage for you. You already working in a production support, you have already idea about your role in the big picture. So yeah, but you have to put your fair share. Don't think about it like within a month or 2 months you will be ready for this. It may take few months or up to a year for you to be ready for this. Give as many interviews as possible, right? What you need to know right now is, along with the knowledge that you gain with the courses that you're going to do online or the study, that what you need essentially or the primarily is, you need to know what they ask, what they ask in the interviews and how they ask it, and where you are going wrong in the few interviews initially. You have to improve step by step in that way, and then eventually you'll be ready for this. I would, if I was at your place, I'll give at least a year to myself to be ready for taking up any role next in data analytics or any data science field. So you have fair a road of struggle in front of you. Prepare yourself for it, and then start from today itself. It's never too late.
Yeah, I think that answers your question, Vedant, and you would have understood. It was Vedant, right? It was your question, right? Or
I
who's...
guess it was Subir probably.
Oh,
It
sorry, Subir.
was.
Subir, sorry. Okay, so I think that's it, and then we'll take the last question, and that is Sai
Wait a
Arjun.
minute. Sorry, Satya, sorry to disturb you. Simranjit, a question. What courses I have to do for going to data
Courses you're
analytics?
asking? Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know anything about Python?
yeah. I just learned the basics of Python.
Yeah. You first finish the basics of it, then do some Coursera courses about Andrew NG. It'll give you a clear basics about machine learning and what algorithms and how to use it, what are the basics of. And then do some very basic courses about stats, how they apply stats in machine learning, as Aritra told previously, what distributions and what theorems, when to use them, how to use them, those kind of basic things. And then alongside, keep on doing Kaggle sheets as well. Once you are good with your Python skills, start doing this thing Kaggle, because you learn more when you practically do it rather than just doing courses blindly. I have done that. I have experienced myself that whatever courses you do, if you don't implement them, you forget it in a day or two. You have to learn it alongside, keep on implementing some basic codes or basic models about it. There will be plenty of worksheets available on Kaggle. Pick up the data set, do some basic analysis, and if it needs modeling, do some basic modeling. Yeah, so basically finish up with the Python, improve your Python skills, then move on to doing a course about stats, and then a course about basic machine learning algorithms like linear regression, logistic, and random forest and decision trees, and those basic algorithms. Don't go for neural networks and all high level right now.
As I always say, like statistics is mother of data science. So
Yeah, I know,
and
man. You are. He's more of a stats man. So like, you can always reach out to him if you have any issues about
yeah, so
statistics.
if Python and other languages are the father, then stats is the mother of the data science. So you have to learn them. So yeah, so does that answer your question? And do you have anything else?
No, Satya, thanks for your help.
So, I'm sorry to
Simranjit,
interrupt you. I
thank
didn't
you.
understand. I didn't know that you had more questions. So sorry about that. The next question that will take it from Sai Arjun S. And guys, we are running out of time, so we'll just keep it a little short. So if that's
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
because
sure.
we have more things to go on. So yeah, Sai, you can unmute yourself and then you can ask a question. Can you hear us, Sai? Hello, we can't hear you, Sai.
Your microphone's probably not working, Sai.
Sai, you can just. We can't hear you, Sai. So
In the meantime, we can just take up
and
Ravi's question and then
yeah,
we'll
Yeah.
see if
we'll
Sai
take.
is able to
Sai,
respond.
you can just join again if you have any problem because I can't hear you, and so probably we can't hear you. So we can take Ravi's question in that case. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi Satya
Right?
and hi Aritra and Simranjit. So my question is, my experience is in automation testing of around 4 years, and will I be treated as a fresher after my data analytics masters,
Yeah, so
or
I
will
read
it
your
be
question in the
counted?
chat actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I was gonna answer about this question is, Satya did a previous session with the testing guys, and I think I don't remember the time, but the entire video is on his YouTube channel. Satya, you can post that your channel's link here, and
Yeah.
it was a 1 hour session. It was all with the testing guys, and couple of those members, they have done data analytics masters after having testing experience, and they said they confirmed it in their session previously that yes, you will be considered as a graduate in data analytics, provided you have a good again your GitHub profile, or you have done some few projects within yourself, not with any company or anything. You have shown your data analytics skills on your LinkedIn or on the GitHub, so that when you are applying for the jobs, you don't just blindly tell them that you were just did data analytics masters and they're applying for graduate role. You have to show them that how you came from automation testing background, and then how you learned data analytics, and this is what you have done in data analytics, and this is why you are applying for a data analytics role. So definitely you will be able to, because you have 4 years of experience. That's a good amount of experience to be in the market. So you have experience about the market, you know how the market works. It's just that you're changing your domain now, right? So you will be definitely considered as a graduate, and if you build your CV well, if you build your GitHub well, if you have few projects on your GitHub, if you can showcase that what data analytics and how you work in data analytics, I guess there won't be any issues for you scoring a few interviews on that.
Yeah, and to add here, we
Uh,
will have more sessions on testing jobs as well because I know we have lots of questions, and there are not only one set of students who have some questions from you, and
yeah, no, to add this, I would like to tell you, like Simranji told me, to attend your previous session. I saw it on YouTube from this channel of yours and Dublin Drama Club,
Mhm.
where
Okay.
and from there itself I came to know about this session.
Okay,
So there
Okay.
the outlook was more towards testing, and
yes,
today I wanted to know more about the analytics jobs if I want to switch to this
Yeah,
domain. Yeah,
yeah.
that's why I
So,
proceeded.
yeah, sorry, Ravi. So, like, as Subir was mentioning, he has a 3.5 years of experience in production support. So, if you just could just replace that, thing with the production support. So, you were in this case is testing, which has very little to do with data analytics field actually. So, I would, suggest the same thing for you as well, because you probably have been working under a process, and you have 1 year to, work on your data analytics and data science skills, and to develop them as well, to understand various machine learning algorithms and everything. And then what you can do is, again, I guess probably I've said this for the umpteenth time in this meeting, again, tweak your CV according to the needs. Since you have got experience, check out for yourself where you can put this data analytics into your previous experience, so that your CV becomes visible to the recruiters when you are applying, and you bag a few couple of interviews, you go through the interviews, And the most important thing in this entire process of getting a job into the field of data analytics and data science is that the first thing is you need to be very patient. Okay, so it's not like it does not happen like in US or in Canada or in any other country, wherein like you get a internship in your last semester and then you suddenly convert that internship and you get a job. So here the situation is pretty much different. So you will have to be very patient. I mean, it's not like that you will be soon after completing your masters, you will be handed with a job, with a fancy job, with a fancy, salary. You will have to keep on trying, because even last year, I have seen a lot of people, who had to wait for 3 months, 4 months, probably, 5, 6 months, and then they finally got the job which they desired. So it's up to you what you want. I mean, because if you want something in automation testing, probably you will be getting a lot of opportunities as soon as you complete your masters or even before completing your masters. If you're looking for something in data analytics and all, I'm not saying that you will not be getting anything before your masters. You might get that, but the important thing is you will keep on have to learning. You will keep on have to keep on building your GitHub profile, actually, as Simranjit mentioned, and that is how it goes. So that's the main thing. And tweaking your CV and learning everything, because why I keep on saying is tweaking your CV is because once you understand, okay, fine, you might realize this is the best CV that I could come up with, and you give your CV to a particular company and you instantly get a rejection. So then you understand, okay, fine, this is not the level I should be working on. Probably I will have to level myself up. So that is why continuous, I mean, it's a try and catch process like we used to do in Java. So you will have to keep on trying, and then some exception might come, and then again you will have to come up with a few new attitude. So I guess this answers your question, Ravi.
Yeah,
Yes.
that answers.
Okay,
One
Rory.
question.
So
Yeah.
it's
Even
basically
from
what he's
Subir's
trying.
answer, yeah.
So it's basically what he's trying to say is like there are two things, that what's your goal to coming to Ireland? You want to settle here, or you want the job in data analytics, or what exactly your goal is to come to when you are coming to Ireland? If you want to come to, if you are coming to Ireland just to settle, then it's okay. You can move with your automation job or testing job as well. If you have to take jobs in data analytics only, then you have to consider graduate roles, as you are an experience in testing jobs, right? So that's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. Basically, what's your goal? It depends on completely on your goals. So that's what I would suggest.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
my goal, I think, is to settle.
that's what. So you
I
have lots
uh,
of job in automation testing and in Ireland, and every day they create more than 50 jobs. So you will definitely find it. And we had a session before. We'll keep more sessions coming, going forward. So don't just keep an eye on our Facebook page. You will get the details from there.
Okay.
So anyone else
Thank
having
you.
any questions? I'm not seeing anyone. So
Yeah,
Sorry to
I have one
interrupt.
question.
Vedant. Okay. So
This
guys, we'll
is
just keep very short, just 1 minute.
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to.
This is just a request. Like you said, me like you'll keep another session for a graduate role, right?
Yeah.
So if you can get your friend in that session who got calls or something, so it would be very helpful. It's just a request if you can.
What do you mean, like a friend who have just
Like
got?
you mentioned while speaking, like there are some graduate friends of yours who are getting calls regularly.
Mhm.
So yeah, if he comes to the session, it would be more helpful for like
Yeah, sure, sure. Definitely
if
bring
you
it.
can. Yeah, this is just a request. It's not like yeah.
Sure. I'll put him as well in the session.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have one question. Not question, like you said, like we have to change the CV, right? Like if you have experience in testing and we are applying for want to go for like data analytics jobs, experience data analytics jobs. So that time, like for changing the projects and all, like it will be really difficult, I think, right? I mean, like the associated projects which we have done in or testing, or we can write some other one project, something we have done, like to get some experience role or something like in testing data analytics jobs. I mean,
Um, yeah, Daritra, you
So
can go ahead.
like, yeah, so probably just take the example. I mean, that like okay, I'll just give you my example actually. Last year probably I did I mean, sorry, this year I mean, one of the classes along with our this thing, I mean, for our data analytics domain actually. So we had to build a project, and do some analysis on that and come up with a final agenda. So I used a Spotify DB dataset. All right. So if we consider it, it was a whole practical lot of dataset that we did. I mean, and the analysis that we did were pretty much done in today's industry standards as well. How I got to know about it is because I read a few papers about it, and I saw that, okay, fine, these are the industry standards on how they do analysis. Now, if I was working on a project for a particular organization with few years of experience, I can definitely tell, I will try to put in the project that I have been working on inside my resume in the same way that I did my entire project. So when I am talking about, tweaking your CV or changing your CV, I'm just trying to make you, the first thing that you got to do from your end is, like, you will have to realize, or you will have to understand whether the project that you did, whether it is testing or whether it is production support or whether it is any other thing, that definitely had an application in place. So is there any particular place where you can, put in your effort that you have put in into your masters into that resume as well? So when I talk about changing or tweaking your CV, I understand it's not a very easy thing to do. It's a pretty hard thing to do. And, and you are and you are actually writing up something which is not there. You have not worked upon on industry standards. So a lot of questions may arise from there. But the important part is then you get to know that, okay, fine, where are you going wrong once you get an interview or once you get grilled, because the ultimate job is done in the ultimate thing is to get a job in this particular profession. So you will have to keep on trying doing these things, and then probably you will get a better idea of what I'm trying to say over here. So I completely understand your question that it's going to be tough because you have worked on some project and now you are trying to tweak that project to look you did some work on data analytics. But this is one of the ways that I find actually efficient. I'm not saying that this is the only way, but this is one of the ways which I find really efficient and in doing this thing.
I hope that answers your question, Joseph. And just, I'm sorry, because I have already last time we had 1 hour session and we kept it for 2 hours because I had lots of questions from people and that's why I kept it for 2 hours. So yeah, what you can do exactly is you can definitely connect with them on LinkedIn, and whatever questions do you have, I'm definitely sure because they have just opted to come here. They'll never resist to answer your questions, definitely on LinkedIn as well, because that's a great help from these two guys, and they are always ready to help you. So just connect with them and ask questions there. That's what I would suggest for now. And with that, we are good to go. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great day and great evening. Yeah. Thank you,
Thanks
everyone.
everyone for joining.
Everyone.
And
thanks.
It was nice talking to you all.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.